What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny Gamescast for Monday, June 30th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the voice of everything, Ben Starr.
Hello.
Hello, Ben. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you.
Is this the most comfortable gaming chair you've ever sat in?
Yeah, it is. And it makes me feel like I'm outside, even though I'm not outside.
100%. It does feel like we're camping out for something, or we're gathered around a fire.
It makes you sit in a weird way, though, because like the ass is always further down than the front. So
Yeah,
kind of
you gotta be constantly readjusting.
Have you ever play video games in a chair like this, in a camping chair?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
All the time,
Yeah. Well, not all the time, but I've done it before.
Yeah, it's
especially camping out for stuff.
Yeah.
Camping out for a PS2 or something like that.
Yeah, it feels nice.
It does feel nice. Of course, if you're an audio listener, you might not understand what's happening. The boys are freaking it. Roger, Mike have been streaming for how many hours now?
48.
No, you're over 48.
10, 58.
They're counting. I don't know if their mics are on.
65.
65 hours they've been streaming straight of Death Stranding 2. They are freaking it, as they say, if you have missed it. They are going as long as you pay them to go. They still have at least 5 hours on the clock, and it's getting crazier. Correct me if I'm wrong, all the Superchats and all that jazz is going into the till as well today, right? Because this has been
Twitch subs.
so
Subs.
why did Tim say the other thing on Games Daily?
You know, Roger asked him. He's busy. It's his birthday. It's his birthday.
So anyways, you can go on a Twitch page. You can Twitch sub there. If you do that, it fills the till. They go longer and longer. They're trying to go even through tonight, which would be far and away the longest marathon stream we've ever done here. As they walk, they run, they bike. But mainly they eat. Every time I tuned in this weekend, Ben, they were eating.
He's like so much food. Food was delivered to him, and I don't think that's how energy works. You can't just like. It's just. I was like, this isn't science. This is mad.
He's like, food go in, power come out.
Yeah, it's like that's just not. That's just not how you're not filling up a car. It's not how that works. And it's just. I don't think it's good food as well.
It's like when I'm playing Switch and I see that battery start dropping and I want to plug it in right away.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not. You don't just fill the gut.
Yeah, I said on Games Day later. It's not little enough. It's little and often, not lots and often.
Yeah.
And it was just. I just saw him being just like refueled like a Formula One would, where they just like shove it in and do the wheels on at the same time.
See, I thought of it more of like a plane in the air.
Oh yeah.
Roger's feeding him donuts while he walks.
It is like with that surgical exercise where they kind of like come over the top of the plane.
Exactly right. Yeah.
I don't think they've got planes right if you keep having to refill them in the air.
I mean, they just never want to land. You know what I mean?
Never want to land.
That's pretty cool.
Got to come down sometime though.
Do you? This man's career is in, and we're going to talk. Wait, I don't know where this camera angle just came from. Is that just a zoom? What happened, Kevin? You freaked me out, Kevin. I wasn't prepared for that. We're streaming from the lab, of course. Everybody, where this streamathon marathon has been going. We will, of course, stop talking about that to a degree. I'm sure it'll come up again. And remind you that this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we talk about the biggest topics in gaming, whether it be reviews, previews, or things we need to talk about. We discuss them here. Of course, you should subscribe. YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames, Twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, and of course, podcast services around the globe. If you really like what we do here and like shenanigans like this, of course, support them by going over and giving them a Twitch sub. But of course, you could be part of this show with YouTube Super Chats. If you have a question for the one, the only Ben Starr, go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames while we're live here. Super chat in your question. Be part of the show. If you really like what we do here, pick up a Kind of Funny membership. Of course, $10 gets you each and every episode of Kind of Funny, anything ad-free. That's more than 80 episodes a month. It would get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a 15 to 20-minute podcast we call Greg Way. And of course, you'd get good karma for supporting a small, independent, 11-person business. You can pick up your membership at patreon.com/kindoffunny, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, Apple, and Spotify. Housekeeping for you, of course, we're an 11-person small business, all about live talk shows. Kind of Funny Games Daily was asking if Xbox hardware is dead with Ben Starr.
Yeah, and I said, yep, it's dumb. That's not what we said.
You should still go watch.
There was nuance.
Go watch the episode.
There was nuance.
There was nuance. After this, of course, it's a twofer for the day. You can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and watch the live premiere of Tim and Gia's wedding. The video is finally edited and ready here on their 1-year anniversary, and of course, Tim's birthday. Or you could stick around here as the Death Stranding 2 marathon rolls on. Again, how long are you trying to go for, boys?
As long as the timer goes.
As long as the timer goes. The timer goes.
As people in the chat keep reminding us, there are some people who are actually in the audience of the Death Stranding 2 like concert tour or whatever thing that's happening right now.
If you are in the audience of the tour right now, make sure they're airing this video.
Someone show it to Kojima.
Oh, he's seen it.
Yeah, he has?
He has to know.
Yeah, he has to know
Yeah.
everyone's talking about it. But like literally interrupt the whole thing and goes, guys, this is the most important thing happening right now.
This is how you know he knows, is that his people politely turned me down for giving them an encouragement video.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because I tried to get it. I got you guys. I got you, Troy. Kojima's people were like, he's too busy.
Hilarious.
And then I was like, hey, Caroline Polachek, you got nothing going on. And then she was like, no. And so you got Troy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've always said that Troy is a poor man's Hideo Kojima.
You know, we're going to get into your thoughts about Troy Baker in just one second.
great.
Of course, remember, like I said, that's all that. You're Kind of Funny member, your Greg Way today is 20 minutes of me celebrating Tim's birthday. No fooling. Come hear me talk about how much I love Tim Geddes on his birthday. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Cash App and Mood. We'll tell you about that later. For now, let's start with the topic of the show. Ben Starr, the topic is you.
Yeah.
Of course, we shocked the world. You and I went to PAX East.
God.
We did the keynote.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
That
You were
was
nice
so
enough
fun.
to come out and interview me.
Yes.
We had a ball. We had some laughs. Some great photos of us.
Yeah.
The photographer's name's slipping my mind right now.
can't
But he great photos.
We photograph really well together.
We do photograph
That's
really. We work
great-
really well together
It's
too.
a sign of a great
which is always
couple.
good. That's that's pretty much all it comes down to. Yeah, you can do that. You can do anything. Like
Yeah.
I said. I figured it was time to return the favor and interview you.
Thank you.
Okay? Because here's the thing about Ben Starr. The list of work speaks for itself, all right? We're talking about Final Fantasy 16, Clive. We're talking about Hades 2 Prometheus.
Yeah.
The first Berserker Kazan.
Yeah.
Kazan. We're talking about Expedition 33, which I feel like is your the one everybody's talking about nowadays.
Yeah,
with you,
it really is.
For
Yeah.
Verso. Date Everything. Then you got this thing called Natural 6, which
Yeah.
has to be copyright infringement with Critical Role. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
When did or do you feel like you became synonymous with video games?
I genuinely don't know, but I feel that there we go, just straight onto my IMDb. It wasn't like this isn't accidental.
Yeah.
Me being here and me being in as many games as possible isn't just like, oh, I'm really lucky. I wanted this. I ran at it with. I mean, you even remarked on it when I first kind of like came onto the scene. I came on like a loaded gun.
Yeah.
I wanted to do everything. I wanted to meet everyone. I wanted to say hi to everyone because this is like a fan being given the keys to the kingdom. Charlie, keys to the chocolate factory. I get to go and I get to talk to people that I really, really like.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to be a person who was, and I will be, just known for Clive to some people, but I didn't want just that to be it.
See, I don't think, I'll give you the honest to God's truth.
Yeah.
I thought that might be the case when you first came around.
Yeah.
Because it was that you came up, you're very sweet, you got these big eyes, these little doe eyes, just looking, you know what I mean? And it was this innocent young man.
Yeah.
And it was that I caught it, and I've told you this in private, and I think we might have talked about it on the PAX stage because I said it before PAX, but it was that idea that like, you came on like a hurricane of like every opportunity that was presented yourself. I think it's funny, so many people think of you as, oh, he's Ben Starr, he's so tight with Kind of Funny, when if you went to Giant Bomb, if you went to like any other organization you go to, they have a Ben Starr story
Yeah.
that he's been on the show and done that thing.
Yeah.
And I remember when that was happening around Final Fantasy 16 and you would introduce yourself to us and like, oh, he's a big fan of Kind of Funny, that's awesome. And then I saw you doing it everywhere, Min-Max, I was like, oh, he's taking advantage of every opportunity he can. That's so cool, but I didn't know if it would pay off. And here you are now, still doing so many amazing things. Again, Expedition 33, so many people are going to know you from that, but they're going to know you from Hades, and they're going to know you from this, and they're going to know you from the thing that's getting announced tomorrow. I'll keep checking my email to see if PR says I can tell you.
Yeah. There's something being announced tomorrow, which is fun. It's intentional. It was intentional because I wanted to let everyone know. Actors often come and do video games and they have a nice time and they go off and go back to film and TV or theatre or whatever.
This Charlie Cox guy.
Charlie Cox.
I did 4 hours of work. It means nothing to me. That's
I'm
what he said,
I'm going to correct that. Jennifer Svedberg-Yen has come out and said Charlie actually did 8 hours in the booth and it was amazingly, incredibly professional. So that has already been debunked in that way. But Charlie is a sensational actor, incredible career, comes in, does an amazing job as Gustav, and then he has this career outside of it. I very much wanted to exist in a space that I understand and I love and I really, really appreciate.
Yeah.
And very rarely does your greatest hobby and love get to go and coincide with your job.
Yeah.
And that's a very weird thing for me. And I didn't want to let it go. And I didn't want to just be a person who was just one character and known for one character forever. I wanted you to know me as Ben Starr, a person who loves video games, who can talk about video games, who can contribute actively to the community and also be a person who can speak on it and be a vector of joy for people in that space. And I will continue to do it. And it's been amazing that actually, as a result of that, more and more great opportunities have
Sure.
come along.
Sure.
And I didn't know that I was going to get to be in Hades 2. I didn't know that Expedition 33 was going to kick off. I just chose stuff that I loved. And it's just kind of paid off in that way. I didn't know that Trapdory in here literally was going to become like this breakout star of TikTok. I just picked stuff that I really liked.
So then rewind for me and talk about how you made this happen. You said this wasn't by accident.
Yes.
I don't know the Ben Starr. He was a young lad in Liverpool working in the coal factory. That's what they do there.
Exactly what
Right? They're
happened.
still making big ships, I think. That's their big deal.
And I wanted to be a ballet dancer and all that sort of stuff. I was a young kid. I always wanted to be an actor. I did my first professional job as an actor. I was 11 years old, and I played a Gavroche in Les Miserables.
Oh, okay.
And I knew I wanted to do that from a young age. That's it. That's me. I'm good. And I did so much youth theatre. I did so many plays. I wanted to become a professional actor. I wanted to be at the RSC, the Royal Shakespeare Company. I wanted to be at the National Theatre. That's what I wanted to do. I went to university, did loads of theatre, went to drama school, LAMDA, this amazing school, and then I went, right, now you're an actor. And then I became severely depressed for like 3 years.
Oh, man.
Because you do everything and you're the greatest person at what you do, and you excel in every single way until the moment when you don't excel. Because people stop telling you that you're excellent and they start telling you that you're as average as everyone else.
Sure.
Because everyone in that industry is excellent and brilliant. And you have to figure out a way of seizing upon those opportunities. And it wasn't this kind of like stardom story. I existed in film and TV, and I loved it. My God, I was able to get to do some amazing TV shows. I got to meet some amazing people.
You were on Jamestown for a long time.
Yeah, 3 years. I met my fiance there.
Oh, congratulations.
I met some of my, thank you so much. I met some of my closest friends there, and we lived there for 3 years. It was like a second university or second college. Like 6 months of the year, we're living in Hungary, we're filming this amazing TV show. And I thought that that's what my life would be, like doing good roles in good shows, and that would be it. And then in 2019, Final Fantasy 16, this opportunity came around, and
how does that opportunity come around?
I get a 15-minute audition slot for a video game that was code worded at the time, Hope. And I went, yeah, sure, I'll do this thing at 5 p.m. on a Friday. I'm tired, I don't want to. I've never really been successful at video games before. Like, in context, sometime before that, I'd auditioned for a game that I did know what it was, and it was Cyberpunk 2077, and it was to play the lead. Yeah. And I really wanted it, and I thought, this is gonna change my life. Yeah. And again, it's the story of opportunity of, if had I got that, which I didn't, I would never have done Clive in Final Fantasy 16, and my life would never have spiraled in that way. There's me as Christopher Priestley. Dr. Christopher Priestley. I love that show, but when this game came around and I figured out that it was Final Fantasy 16, it changed everything. I went, well, this is cool. I want this.
How did you figure out it was Final Fantasy 16?
Because I'm a massive Final Fantasy fan. So even when you code word something, pretty much any game that you code word, I can figure out what it is because I'm just so dialed in to the industry. Like, I think I saw the words Crystal and Sid, and I knew that it was Final Fantasy 16.
That's a pretty good giveaway.
That's pretty. I'm not like a detective on that. I just figured that out. But I didn't know that it was going to be 16 because I thought they've never recorded Final Fantasy in the UK before. And then I just couldn't believe that I'd be the lead. I couldn't believe that this would be a thing for me. And then it's 4 years of silence. 4 years of me just like existing in the space. COVID happened, not being like, I'm playing this character in this game, I can't tell you what it is. Waiting. So the moment that I'm able to talk about the game, I came out like a loaded gun because I was ready. Yeah, hell yeah. And I wanted this, and I wanted to celebrate my contribution to the industry and my love of this franchise. Final Fantasy fans are amazing, but they are also very vigilant about imposters, very protective. And I needed people to know that I love this franchise in the way that they love it. I am one of them. And so I very much told everyone, don't worry, I'm going to be a responsible custodian of your franchise. Do not worry. And that was my main aim, was to go, whatever you think about the game, please think of me as a person who is responsible enough to not fuck up your franchise. And that was my thinking behind the whole thing.
Are you saying that to the folks at Square?
Yes, I was dogged at Square. I met every single person I could and said, I can be a voice for you on this franchise. I can speak to this franchise.
Yeah.
I can speak to my contribution to it. And I really would like the opportunity to do that. And I came over for the launch event in LA, and I said, I really want to go to Kind of Funny. So I specifically flew over to spend time with you.
I remember.
Because I thought, I'm here, I may as well do that, because I love you guys. I'd watched you guys every single day for 4 years. That Games Daily was the thing that I would listen to at the gym every time I was there. It was a part of my daily routine. So I was really nervous, but I also knew that you guys are, I think, responsible enough with this sort of thing to be respectful of whatever it is that comes your way.
Sure.
And I thought it would be a great platform to do. So I spoke to you guys and said I'd like to come out, and they were very kind to fly me from LA to San Francisco and come and do that. And it's kind of everything snowballed from there. I was fortunate to go on Friends Per Second. I was fortunate to go and do stuff with MinMax.
Sorry you had to work with Lucy.
Allies. Horrible.
The worst.
Horrible.
Lucy
horrible.
James, you know what I mean?
Nasty woman. And that was the start of going, don't worry, I'm not going to screw you over, guys. And it was to speak to the Final Fantasy, like, hardcore initially, because I wanted them to feel like I could be a person that they could rely on.
Okay. We're putting a pin in that now, because there's so much more I want to go forward with and hear more about, but I want to go backwards as well. So take me all the way back, because in your talk here of, okay, Royal Shakespeare Company, you know, you're a child, you're going to go be in this Les Mis thing. When are video games put into your life?
Had a Game Boy since I was 7.
Okay.
So I had a Game Boy, from 7. And
how were you brought into that? Was that a hand-me-down? Was that something you thought you wanted?
I got given it. Yeah, I got given it. My sister had one, but I was the one who kind of really took it and ran with it. I'd spend all my pocket money or allowance on buying games for it.
Yeah.
And then all I ever wanted was a PlayStation. I wanted it more than anything. I would watch. There was a show in the UK called Movies, Games and Videos, and they'd have a phone-in competition every Saturday, and I would phone in because I really wanted to win a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And the moment where I finally got one, I got Gran Turismo and Resident Evil 2. Were my first games on there.
Good picks.
Yeah, I mean, Resident Evil 2, that is a scary game for a young kid. And from that moment on, it was all of my money that I would get would be spent on PlayStation games.
When did you figure out that the acting bug would apply to this as well?
Never.
Never.
I never thought that those two things would cross over. I thought it was a completely impenetrable thing for me. I would preach from the rooftops about how video game performances are the ones that would influence a lot of the things that I did. So I would talk about, you know, the Nolans, the Troys, the Lauras, like these experiences, like, are so influential in my life as a performer.
For sure.
And I would say to people, this is a valid medium for performance. And even before I was a part of it, I would be, you know, my hobby has always been video games. What do you do in your spare time? Play video games. And then I would have to felt like I'd have to justify it. And I go, no, it is, I fundamentally believe, to be the most advanced medium through which we can experience art in whatever capacity you want, and then go on these big tirades. But also just then saying, also through performance, we are getting high fidelity games, high fidelity performances. I mean, look, you're playing Death Stranding. Like the ability.
For once on the stream, they're not just eating or ordering food. You know what I mean?
Order lunch? Yeah, I think
let's get some lunch.
Here we go.
Like, look at it. It's what you can.
Look at it right now.
Look at it. This is peak.
This is art.
This is what we want. Somebody appreciate the art. Yes, but also cool. You can have what you want in it. It's amazing, and what Hideo Kojima has achieved is remarkable
for sure.
And also the rest of the team. But
did your parents understand acting? Did they understand video games?
Yeah, my mum did loads of amateur theatre, so she was massively supportive. My dad was an accountant, but he was incredibly supportive of everything that I wanted to do. You know, they drive me to my various like youth theatres that I do, and also my dad and I bonded so massively over video games. Gran Turismo Gran Turismo 2, 3 in particular, A-Spec, was a game that we built together. So we would like tune up cars. I remember like waking up one time in the middle of the night and he's doing a 24-hour Le Mans race.
Oh, that's amazing.
We would talk about what we're going to do with our cars, how we're going to spend our money. And it was a way of bonding. They loved that I played Final Fantasy games. Like they were like, these games are so long and so intricate. And I described the stories to them. They understood my passion for it because I spoke so much on it about how important it was to me.
Yeah.
And they loved it. And this was something that I didn't stop as a kid. I took my PlayStation to university. I remember playing the Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first, Red Dead Redemption, the first one for the first time, and thinking this is insane.
Yeah.
What we can do.
Yeah.
And it's always been a love, and it's always been the first thing that I bring with me. Whenever I travel to America, I bring my PlayStation 5 with me.
Very cool. Very cool.
Because I pack it first. Yeah, I do. But I now have my Steam Deck that I don't need to do as much, so I can have But I video games are the first thing that I focus on more than anything.
Your fiance play?
No.
Okay.
No. She'll play Overcooked with me. We have to call each other chef.
Sure, of course. Yes, chef.
And we have to, And then we have to, we played It Takes Two together.
Okay, cool.
She is amazingly supportive of all the stuff that I do. She's an actress as well, but doesn't play games, but understands, once again, my love for it. And again, me wanting to jump into this industry, is because this is for the first time I have a group of friends who also understand it and appreciate it in the way that I do.
Yeah.
It's why I'm over here all the time, because I get to hang out with people that like games as much as I do.
Sure.
It's why I jump on other people's streams who are playing stuff, because I just like having friends who like the thing that I do. It's not just a private hobby that I should kind of be ashamed of. It's something that I like. I've come out and been like, hey guys, I'm a weird fucking nerd.
I mean, that's the power where we're at right now, right? I think that's what makes this all so cool, is that I think for oldies like me, and a little bit about you, but like you remember growing up where you had to justify talking to somebody that you played video games, or you were the only kid in your friend group that played games the way we played games and cared about games the way we cared about games. And now, you turn on Twitch or anything, you're going to see some jabroni walking, but you're also going to find people who really care about games.
Yeah, and people who are analysing it and critiquing it in a way that I don't think you get in film and TV, because there's a level of passion. Like Expedition 33 is a great example of a community that has been born out of a love, like an overwhelming love for this piece of art that's been created, and so they are inspired to create art on top of it.
Yeah.
You see the people who are doing all the fan fiction, which again, I read it. I tell you, I read the fan fiction. I've seen what you write.
Is it cheeky?
It's great. It's great. I love it. The Gustav Verso stuff is really kicking off. It is. But they're sort of the people that do the compositions. They take the music and they make it themselves. They make it heavy metal
so
rock.
Good. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then the fan art is amazing, and the cosplay. Like we turn up to IGN Live dressed up in the baguette cosplay, the baguette outfits, because it's fun and engaging and playful, and it's art is inspiring art that inspires art, and I just love it. I feel very, very fortunate.
Take me back to, you graduate, people are done telling you you're awesome, you have 3 years of depression.
Yes.
What does that look like? What does that actually mean? How do we get out of it?
The best way I would describe what it is that I went through is I went from everything to nothing. I went from an intense theatrical training, which is 12 to 14 hours a day, every single day for 2 years. And then you go and be an actor.
How quickly can you memorize something?
Something.
Yeah, like a line, a monologue. How long does it take?
I'm pretty good at it.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah, that is a really cool skill. But like, I'm probably not that great at the moment. But it got to a point where I could do stuff very quickly because you just had to.
Yeah.
And your brain can do it. I measure learning stuff in sleeps as well.
Oh.
So actually, if it depends how long I want something to be embedded in my brain.
Sure.
You can learn something in a day and then forget it by 6 p.m. Go to bed, wake up, and you'll know the whole thing because your brain rests and it just kind of sits in there. It's an amazing thing.
Sorry, back to it.
But I go and do some really cool jobs that I enjoyed but weren't acting. But it's the structure. I go from everything to nothing. And the depression comes from, I need to create my own sleep cycle. I need to create a healthy work environment. I need to do one thing a day that means that I'm fundamentally improving myself, because otherwise I'm just doing nothing.
Yeah.
And also, my years as an actor before this is a lot of sitting around and waiting for someone to give you something. You are owed nothing in this industry. Even with the launch of Final Fantasy 16, I was like, no one owes me anything. No one owes me another role. No one owes me to cast me in anything. Great, you were good in one game, fine. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And so this kind of almost like feverish work ethic that I have at the moment is because I recognize that no one owes me anything and no one is going to advocate for me other than myself. So if I want something, I will just say I want it. And I can say, you can tell me I'm not worth it, but I really want to place myself out there and do stuff that betters me, makes me feel happy, and also is cool, because I spent years sitting back and waiting to be given things that I didn't deserve. And I didn't want to think that, I sat there thinking, this other person's got this role or whatever, and I feel really salty about it. I'm like, well, just do something about it.
How did you get over that? You said, years of sulking over stuff you didn't deserve.
Yeah.
How did you eventually change that mindset?
Oh my God. So the life of an actor is you hate yourself for a long period of time, and then you get given a role and suddenly you get validated and you're fine. That's it. We are really kind of flimsy emotional beings. Life is terrible, I hate it, and then suddenly you can get an audition and you're fine.
Top of the world, I'm the best.
Because advice that you are given, but you have to experience, is do not define yourself by your job. Have other things that are not your job that define you.
Yeah.
And actually, I'd say one of the most difficult things at the launch of 16 and then the past couple of years, I've been quite open about this, is actually I felt pretty down after that came out. Because I no longer had an outlet, I was literally defined. My passion became my job, and therefore there was no escape.
Yeah.
I didn't have video games to escape to, because video games were my job.
Yeah.
And so actually I then had to pivot and figure out what did define me.
Drugs.
I couldn't, and so I hit hardcore drugs. And I had to struggle with that, and I fell out of love with video games quite a bit. And then obviously took a step back and went, check yourself, took some time away, and then came back and went, actually video games are great.
Yeah.
But that was difficult, not having that refuge from it.
Sure. Did you not have the refuge because you feel like you're coming into it and you're trending to that I deserve more thing, or because you saw how you see the Matrix, you see how this got made?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And also I'm analysing it in a way that I never analysed it before.
Sure.
I'm looking at certain things that are just kind of ruining it for me a little bit. I saw how the sausage was made. I was thinking unhealthily about the whole experience, when in fact, the pure joy of video games is that level of escapism that you just get, that we sit. Video games have the power to allow us to recontextualize the world around us. When my dad passed away, I went to Death's Door, I went to Life is Strange, I went to games that unintentionally, I didn't mean to, but they were both escapes, and they maybe kind of like understood stuff. Like I played, what's the game where you play the guitar? That's basically all you do, and you like slide along. Artful Escape. Some people love it, some people not massive fans in it. My dad was a huge fan of electric guitar, so I named a character after my dad and just played that for 3 hours, and it was a really therapeutic experience just to experience. And they have that power to do that, and maybe somewhere along the way, when it became my job, I lost sight of that. And I still battle with it. I get in the weeds about certain things, and I'm not perfect, and I'm not happy all the time, and I'm quite, I can get salty about stuff, but I try and be as positive as possible, because I recognize that there are so many people who would kill literally to be where I am, where you are. But I also try and say to people, my experience is it's okay to be bad. It's okay to feel like shit.
Be a human,
You've got to be human. Otherwise, you can't be strong all the time.
Was Dad's passing sudden?
It was the most sudden it could possibly be. Yeah, I mean.
And obviously, feel free to share.
No, I think it's fine to talk about. It was my granddad was passing. My granddad was dying of old age. My dad's dad, and he was very unwell, and he passed in his sleep on the Thursday night, and my dad wasn't well in the lead up to it. He just was kind of feeling a bit bad. We thought he had pneumonia, and then but because Granddad's passing was so imminent, that's what we were focusing on, and he went, I'm going to go and get checked up after he's kind of gone, and as we all do, we go, I need to get through this, I'll push on, and we don't care about our own health. And then, on the Thursday he passed. On the Friday I spoke to him, he got a checkup, it was fine. On the Saturday morning he died in his sleep of a heart attack.
Oh my God.
So we ended up having to, ironically, he planned his own funeral, because we had a double funeral of my granddad and my dad. And so I then stopped working on Final Fantasy 16. I went home, I looked after my family, we kind of regrouped, and we planned my dad and my granddad's funeral at the same time. nothing can prepare you for death, even if you
Sure.
you know
All
months
the
and months
runway
in
in the world,
advance.
yeah.
And my experience is entirely my own, as exemplified by the fact that my sister and my mum reacted differently to it as well. It's horrific. The worst thing that could ever happen to me happened to me. That is it. Nothing worse could happen than that. For me as a kid, the thought of losing my dad was unbearable.
Sure.
And that it happened in such a horrible, horrific way. It's the overwhelming denial, the refusal to accept the truth in front of you, and then the anger that the world continues on. I remember someone made a joke trying to cheer me up on the day that he died, and I was so angry at them.
Sure, yeah.
I was so angry at anyone trying to make light of the situation. I was so angry that people were doing shopping. I was furious that people weren't stopping and the world wasn't going, this monumental human in my life is gone. And you have the audacity to keep living your life. How fucking dare you?
Yeah.
And that is something that you kind of have to get over, in the realization that, you know, you can't really do anything about that. That's a work you have to do on yourself. I went to therapy, I threw myself into Final Fantasy, and a lot of people have said, oh, you can really tell that Ben lost his father in the making of the game, and I'm like, well, I hope not, because my doing, I'm pleased that you saw nuance, and certainly there was understanding and there was vulnerability in the performance, but a large portion of the game was me escaping the reality of what my life was at the time. It was allowing me to get on with the work and have that structure that otherwise I would have just collapsed and fallen apart.
Did he get to see anything from Final Fantasy?
Yeah, he did. He was incredibly proud because he knew that Final Fantasy was my favorite franchise. So that's cool. But it's just difficult. Like, again, it's very hard when the person that you should always do stuff for yourself, but it's always nice to get outside validation. I did stuff for my dad. I did stuff to make my dad proud. So it's very difficult to achieve success on something and not have that immediate validation from that person, because I'm like, who am I doing this for? And I had to relearn to do things maybe for myself. And I just fell off a cliff. I was so, like, I would drink a huge amount of alcohol and keep it quiet from people. I would, I think I drank consistently for a year every single day. And I was very, very good at hiding it. But it's what you do to medicate. And it's like, I needed to get through this. This is how I get through it. Yeah. And many parts of my life collapsed. I felt incredibly nihilistic. But at the same time, one of the greatest things in my life was Final Fantasy 16 was taking off. Yeah. And my career was taking off. So why did I throw myself into all of this? Probably because I wanted to make something of this. I didn't want to be left with nothing at the end of it. Sure. What would I have? Like a half-assed career and a dead dad? And that is being very reductive. But I was like, I refused to accept that's what I was going to be left with. I'm like, no, I want this to be a success for me. Obviously, it grew into other things, but that was a huge driving factor.
Did you recognize being on the other side or coming out? I know grief is always with us, but I mean the idea that you were drinking every day, that you had this nihilistic view, right? That's not the Ben Starr I know, because I know you after all.
Yeah.
And also, when does this happen in the timeline around COVID?
This happens towards the launch of 16 and beyond.
Okay.
Like, I was great. When I saw you, I was still absolutely medicated. And I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was absolutely alcohol dependent.
Yeah.
I also would just push myself a little bit further. It's the not drinking with other people, it's the drinking by yourself. Yeah. That's the hard part. Yeah. That's when you're like, you know what, I am gonna have another 3 gin and tonics, because why the fuck not? Yeah. You feel happy, you feel happier, you feel balmed in that way. But I was also aware whilst I was doing it that I had the capacity to stop. Yeah. And I did. And I still enjoy alcohol. I love it. It's really fun. But I also have that self-control to know you don't need to do that. And I certainly don't drink alone as much as I used to. Did you lose the nihilism? No, I think the nihilism's still there. I think that I sometimes feel I get a call of the void sometimes. I think that's humanity, isn't it? Everyone does a little, to some extent. But yeah, I feel that way. But I think it's also pushed me to. There's a positive to that, which is, fuck it, what they're going to do? Say no? So that a lot. What do I have to lose? What do I have to 100%. Lose? So a lot of that. Well, you know, things don't really matter. Is I have the confidence to go up and say, I really want to do this because I don't want to let this thing go. Yeah. And I feel like in this conversation, it's been driven to. maybe it's making this sound a lot more dark than it actually is, but there are obviously layers to humanity and complexities to the human condition. But this is a truth for me. I can be both the fun, silly Ben, and I can also be the Ben is sad and fundamentally misses his dad every single day.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to reconcile. But when someone told me that you're always going to miss him, I went, okay, that's cool. I don't feel ashamed.
Yeah,
I don't feel ashamed.
For sure.
And for anyone else who's missed people, like I still dream about him. I have dreams where he's still alive, or that he's done the soap thing of fucked
It was
off.
all a dream?
he's fucked off and he's like, sorry, I was trying to escape from the law and I pretended to be dead. I'm like, that makes sense, because you wouldn't just die on me in the middle of the night. But they're the hardest ones, because you wake up and you've like lived a moment with him, and then you wake up and you're like, oh fuck, you're still here. You're gone again. And that's the hardest thing.
Where do we come down as Ben Starr in spirituality?
I am. Oh my God, it's a weird one. I was raised as a within the church. I went, like, my grandmother was very, very Catholic. I was not baptized. My dad was an atheist. I like the idea sometimes that I can ask the universe, whatever that might be, whether that might be a being, for something, because it kind of says that maybe I don't have to be in control. It's
Sure.
like sometimes saying I don't have to be the thing. There is some fortune and fate to it.
Yeah.
I think, I would say that I've got some spiritual.
Do you ever allow yourself the happy thought that the dreams of your father are him visiting you, or something to that effect?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I feel like there's comfort in that, then, of the waking up and yes, he's gone, but you got to see him.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's really, really hard, especially because of the broken pieces of our lives that you have to, like, it's when someone who is that pivotal to your life disappears.
Yeah.
It's absolutely devastating.
Yeah, the world shifts.
The world shifts just in every single way. And I don't miss him every day, but he is on my phone screen. Like, and he'll never not be on my phone screen.
Yeah.
So, and also the thing that's tough is I think I'm older now than he was when I was first born.
Oh, wow, yeah, when you start catching up.
Yeah. So I was, that picture, there's a picture of him on my phone, and it's him holding me on the first day that I went back to the house.
Okay.
And I'm older than him now.
Yeah.
In that thing, and that's kind of strange.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, I'm getting married next month, and I'm getting married on his birthday. I specifically picked it because of that day. But at the same time, even though I'm talking about him quite freely on here, I feel this reticence to want to talk about him on the day. I don't want to have to speak about him on the day.
It's a lot to intertwine, the happiest day of your life and then this bittersweet memory, this thing that's...
We're still kind of like tackling whether that's the thing we want to do, because ultimately he's going to be there because it's his birthday. And I wanted to kind of reframe it so that
Take the day back.
Reclaim it a little bit.
Yeah.
Christmas has been ruined. By the way, he died over Christmas, so that's just kind of shit.
Yeah.
That's
a rough one.
It's a rough one, because also Christmas goes be with loved ones, and I'm like, yeah, kind of, that ruined it. Death is terrible at any time. It ruins any part of it. Top tip.
Death's gonna ruin any day.
And it will, Death's an everyday kind of like, no discrimination kind of ruiner. But it really, especially when the entire world is trying to tell you that now is the time to
be happy and together with family. Let's make some cherished family memories.
Oh my God, yeah, and it's hard.
Yeah.
And you feel really resentful. I was super.
I bet. Yeah.
I was super angry about people making his death about themselves. I was kind of numb to it. I was not. I would put on a fantastic face because I had to, and I'm very, very good at projecting certain versions of myself that I think to be kind of acceptable for people, because I don't want to burden them with it.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm going to look back on this stream and go, why did I decide to dedicate a large portion of this to talking about ultimately my sadness, the loss of my dad, all of this stuff? But actually, I feel that if it's an exercise for me, and hopefully it allows other people to, look into it and see that,
Scoopy. Superchats, I'm sorry you went through this, but I'm glad to hear your journey.
Yeah.
I eventually accepted I needed help, and today marks 5 months sober for me. People should know that they aren't alone and help is available.
Yeah.
So no, that's the power of it.
Yeah.
Of like talking about and sharing your story. And again, for people to know you and know you as the deep V, Balatro guy, you know what I mean? Like you're so many things. So I think giving them a human look into this and the creation of Final Fantasy and all these other things of like, what makes up Ben Starr?
Also, the fool that I love, I get to play again. I'm so lucky that because I play such serious characters in Prometheus, Clive, Verso, they have fun to them, but they're serious. I, as a person, can be very unserious.
Of course.
And growing up, I was always the clown.
Yeah.
I was always the idiot. I was always that. So like the Ben Starr that you see, who is the Balatro clown, who is the idiot online, who does the silly publish and sell stuff, that is me. I love that version of me because it is such an expression of who I enjoy being, and I feel like I have permission to do that because I play such serious roles. You don't have to take me seriously as a person, which I really like.
I take you seriously as a person.
Yeah, you should do.
I wish you're right here. You could get me on. It's scary. I want to talk more about Final Fantasy and then this push, the explosion of Ben Starr everywhere. But first, I'll remind you about the explosion of Kinda Funny. We would explode if it wasn't for you. We need your help, all right? Patreon.com/kindafunny, YouTube.com/kindafunnygames. Apple and Spotify is where you can go to get your Kinda Funny membership to hear each and every episode ad-free. Get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a 15 to 20 minute series we call Greg Way. And of course, get good karma for supporting an 11-person business. So I'm gonna have Kevin, number one, kick it over to ads so you can do that. But number two, Kevin, can you go through my mail? Ben's wedding's next month, but I haven't seen my invite.
Yeah.
This episode's brought to you by Cash App. We've all had those moments getting meals out with people that always end in some kind of awkward experience of having to figure out the least complicated way to just get it done. Or even after figuring it out, have you used an app and ended up having to wait days for your money to finally show up? What if we could solve all of that easily? Cash App is a completely different experience, fast, easy, and safe, and a great way to receive and transfer money to family and friends. It's incredibly easy to set up. You just enter your phone or email and some other basic information, no bank account needed, and then there's no waiting around for days. It's your money, you shouldn't have to wait. We love using Cash App because it's fast, it's safe, and it just makes life way less stressful. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code Kinda Funny in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money, that's Cash App. This episode is brought to you by Mood. Let me tell you about the online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's challenges. From sleepless nights to stress-filled days. Mood.com has created an entire line of functional gummies that target specific health concerns with 100% federally legal THC blends. They'll deliver them discreetly right to your doorstep, and you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code KindaFunny. I've been having a great time trying out all their different gummies, and I'm loving how each one feels. Their Sleepy Time gummies will knock you out in about 15 minutes flat. No hangovers, no grogginess, and their Epic Euphoria gummies are perfect for those days when nothing's going right. And best of all, not only does Mood stand behind everything with an industry-leading 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code KindaFunny. So head to Mood.com, browse their amazing selection of functional gummies, and find the perfect gummy for whatever you are dealing with. And remember to use promo code KindaFunny at checkout to save 20% on your first order.
And we're back, everyone, with Ben Starr. So, Ben.
Yes.
We touched on it. We touched on a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
But we touched a bit on you talking about, fuck it, what do I have to lose?
Yes.
Is that what fuels the push at Final Fantasy and beyond?
Yes.
Because I talk about it, and I've talked about you with you privately about it, right? Of like, this is how, obviously, I feel like I've treated my entire career, but a very specific thing of like, when they were like, oh, you can host this WWE show, and I was like, well, can I get on the website? Can I get in the video game? Can I do this? Can I, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't ask me to do any of that stuff. I just wanted to go do it, so I made it happen.
Yes.
Is that fueled then by coming out of this thing with your dad?
No, yeah, it's fueled by that and wanting to stay around and make something of myself. And I've always been a very ambitious person, but I think sometimes I've felt quite nervous to put that ambition forward for fear that it might come across as selfish or arrogant. But this, I know this world. So I was like, yeah, of course. And I'm very similar to you. Like, you give me a little...
I've often said it's like looking in a mirror.
It is, we're the same. It's like twins. Except I'm Danny DeVito in this.
I don't know if that's true, buddy. I don't know if that's how the internet would say it.
But like, it is, yeah, I know, and I want it. And if you give me the opportunity to do something, I will take it. And so I will burn myself out a little bit, but also I'm very good at taking breaks and relaxing in between that, so I don't like literally burn out.
Yeah.
But I like PAX East. I did the thing with you. I did the Magic the Gathering thing. I did my live shows with my D&D group. Yeah. Like that isn't healthy. But
it's healthy.
But it was. It wasn't because I was just really, really tired. But also, why not? I'm there.
Yeah, that's the convention life. You're there to do the thing. You got to
just graft and you grind. And I want to do more stuff. And I was given this amazing opportunity to host the Golden Joystick Awards. Like, is it daunting? Yes. But am I going to do it? Of course. What am I going to do? Like, fall on my ass? Fine.
These opportunities don't come around that often, right?
And I'm not going to say no to them because I feel like I can do that. Yeah. And actually, I like speaking to the community, for the people that I like, and it's what a wonderful thing to be an ambassador, not just for like a franchise, but also for an industry. Yeah. Like, that's cool. Yeah. And I think that's what, when you host an award show, that's what you're saying. You're going, this is the state of the industry. Yeah. And so, yeah, but also, like, you ask me to do something, I'm going to ask to write it. That's the thing that I specifically ask for, because I really think that there is, brand is a weird and maybe capitalist way of looking at it, but there is a version of me that I think is fun and is silly, and I think that some people find that hard to write for because it's authentically me. Sure.
But that's why it resonates, right? That's why you keep getting these opportunities, the weird commercial, the Bellatra bit, like the hosting the Golden Joysticks.
Because I fundamentally want to, I spent the first 2 minutes of the Golden Joysticks asking my famous friends to tell me why I'd be terrible at the job. Yeah. So, because I think that would be a silly, stupid thing to do. Because I have only been around for 5 minutes. I've been around for 2.5 years, maybe it'd be 3 years now. Yeah. But that's it. That's all I've been in the industry for.
Have you surprised even yourself then by the amount of opportunity you found in these 3 years?
I've actually been surprised by how willing people have been to engage in it, yeah. I still feel like a massive imposter. Hugely, because the people that I'm getting to hang out with and spend time with have been around in the industry and have paid their dues, and they paid their dues quite rightly by doing incredible work. Sure. And as great as lucky as I've been, I still feel unworthy by comparison to these people. So that's what drives me to do more and more and more. I see myself in 10 years' time being in the positions of the people that I get to hang out with now. Sure. Because I don't want to go anywhere, and I want to have that great legacy of work. You know, I don't want you to know me just from one character. I want you to know me from 100 or 10 characters. Sure. But so I feel a little bit unworthy, and that's what drives me. It's going, I want to feel like
your dues right now, right?
Completely. Yeah. Completely. And I'm happy to start at the bottom. Like, I'm not expecting to kind of like I'm really like, I will do stuff to prove to you that I can do this and build a legacy that feels authentically me and not. I'm saying no to a lot of things because great opportunities are coming through, but they don't feel right, and they certainly don't feel authentic to what I want to do. Yeah. I could do a cash grab. People saying, do you want to do this? Do you want to say this? I'm like, yeah, great. After I accepted this award at the BAFTAs, dressed as a clown, I got so many offers to do stuff. Huge amounts of money, like, were gone, Ben, do you want to do this? And I went, nope. Because I didn't do that for money, I did it because it was stupid, it was funny, it's silly, and I do it because it feels right, not because I have a financial investment in the thing that I want to do.
Yeah, one of the many things I've heard about you from the other side is like, yeah, it's not about a paycheck with you in terms of the size. Like, if the project's cool, if this is a good fit, you're going to go do it. You don't care about that part of it.
No, because also it's worth so much more doing something that you believe in and you love than taking the easy road and taking the short buck. Yeah. And that isn't always true. I think also some actors should absolutely do that. I think actors should be rightfully compensated for their time, and if they have, if they have something to give and they want to do it for the money, absolutely. But for me, I am so fortunate with so many fingers and so many pies that I don't.
So many pies.
It's literally
so many fingers. You're like an AI. You're an AI drawing.
My hand, but all the fingers are pies. Yeah. I have the opportunity to do stuff maybe that I wouldn't otherwise say yes to because, yeah.
So here's a question for you then. And it's an interesting one because your partner, your fiance here, is an actor as well.
Yes.
has she always gotten it? Hey, I'm leaving again I'm going back to America. We were talking today, like I'm used to the 11-hour flight now. It's no big deal. Like you come over to America a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're doing all these conventions now, and you're obviously not only doing work, you're then going and being on podcasts. You're running the D&D, you're with the D&D group, helping run it, that stuff. Like you're so busy. Does she understand that? Or I mean, she's married you. She does. Did she always understand? That can be a hard pill to swallow. Of like, cool, I'm with you, but I gotta go do X, Y, Z. But
top line, yes.
Yeah.
And then under that is the complex. This is still fundamentally frustrating. She is a working actor as well.
Yeah.
At a baseline.
And I have to imagine that gets rough. Of like, she's gone for 3 months, but you're here, not this weekend, but that.
Kinda, yeah. And because we know what that's like, we are able to understand that is also something that is the case, even if it's annoying.
Yeah.
It would be so much easier if we could do stuff together. We can't. But it's a very complex issue that she understands and I understand. Would we like to spend more time together? Absolutely.
Of course.
Can we? No, because actually she understands that this is something that I have to run at, and I would never, in the same situation, I'd go, whatever it is that you need to do professionally, you've got to do it, because that is also important. And so we're very good at supporting each other. It isn't as easy as that, because it's still very difficult, because you'd like to spend more time, and actually you're away from someone, you can get quite annoyed that they're not doing this or this, that, and the other. That's just the complexities of a relationship.
Yeah.
But she's great, and I'm very, very lucky to have someone that supports me in that way.
And you made a comment about it a couple seconds ago, but to catch up, I think if people missed it in this context, right? It's the idea that this isn't forever.
Yeah.
This is how I've talked to Jen about what the WWE thing, or even early days of Kind of Funny, of like, this won't be this way forever, but like while these opportunities are coming, I gotta jump on them. I gotta go. I gotta do the thing.
You have to, because also it's not going to be forever, because you create this foundation that kind of then generates itself. You can then have the opportunity to pick the things, but when you're accelerating at this speed, you kind of need the fuel to do it. But once you're in space, you're kind of fine. That's the way I see it, and it will take a couple more years. I'm not done here. I will keep pushing and doing interesting things in interesting ways, but there's eventually going to get to a point where I sit and I Thanos and I go,
exactly. What I was thinking. You look at your feel like, look, I've done it. I've accomplished this. But
and it's weird that we both associate with the villain, but also
he
it's
nailed
the
it.
moment.
And was he really the villain?
Yeah,
he was trying. He was right. You're eating up all the resources. This could have fixed it.
I'm glad Spider-Man was dead.
So right now, we know you're announcing a project tomorrow.
Yes.
I keep saying that, by the way.
Yeah.
You're not in trouble if anybody gets mad at you.
No.
They still have an email. Oh, I got 2 emails. Let me see. No, neither of them.
Great.
This is a tough question, I know, but how many things are you sitting on? Like, how many other projects, games, or whatever? And then I do that part, and then we'll get to the next part.
A few.
Yeah.
But it's really great that I don't have to feel the pressure to say that I'm sitting on them, because there are so many things at present to be able to talk about.
Yeah.
Like when a game comes out, after the game comes out is when sometimes you have to double down more on it. Expedition 33 is something that I will probably continue to talk about for years and years and years.
Of course.
So many people are now just finishing the game, so they really want to have that discourse. So many people want to kind of get in the weeds with it and explore the possibilities of the life afterwards. So I don't need to do that, and I think people enjoy me talking about games. Like, there'll be people in your chat that will know me from Date Everything or Hades or Final Fantasy or whatever it is that I'm doing. Warframe is like, there are some people that only know me from Warframe that I love, and I love it when Warframe fans come up to me like, you're Arthur Nightingale, I love those projects. There are so many things that I can't talk about, and I feel so lucky that I have that, and I'm really excited to speak about them when they come out. But also, I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Oh, of course. But
yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing.
So for you to have accomplished as much as you already have, and I know you feel like you're still a spring chicken and all this stuff. Yeah. What is bucket list? You've done a Final Fantasy game, but I mean, like, what else is on the list of like, this is what I'd love to add to the IMDb page, the resume?
I joke about wanting to be in Love and Deep Space, which is so silly. That's I'd love to do that, but I'm in kind of in a love and deep space adjacent day everything. I want to do more stuff that, like Expedition 33, is new IP, new properties, really deep characters, and I'd like to be seen as a person in this industry who continues to show how, as a performer, we can take the medium forward in the next 5-10 years, whatever that means. I feel like we've had such great ambassadors for that who have kind of led the way, and I would like to continue to be one of those people that you go, oh, Ben Starr's in this game, hopefully he's contributed to it in a meaningful way, and whatever that means, whether it is, being in an amazing, epic PlayStation first-party game that you spend 60 hours or 20 hours doing, love that. Or
stealing the bread from your mouth. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that game. I freaked out when I saw him as well.
Of course, yeah.
That was so cool. But yeah, whether it's that or whether it's something completely different, I don't mind. But I've done a lot in a short space of time.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing a lot. Continue to do a lot in stuff that excites me, that I'm proud of. I don't want to be one of these people that's kind of just doing stuff and you're like, oh, okay. Right, it's more of the same.
Yeah.
I want to do stuff that's a little bit different and maybe
Nolan North and Dark Void, am I right? Oh my God.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I won't be drawn in.
You want to call him? Usually when I mention Dark Void, I call Nolan, but I won't do that.
God man, that guy, what a career he had.
Has.
I feel, no, he's dead now.
No, he's not. He's Blaze in the Monster Machines. That's all he does now. When I turned that on, when Ben wanted to watch Blaze in the Monster Machines, the first time I turned on, the fucking Blaze is Nolan. I was like, oh. I texted him I'm gonna have to listen to you forever now.
He's so everywhere in that period, like Desmond Miles, Nathan Drake, but Spec Ops: The Line. We don't talk about Spec Ops: The Line enough.
Yeah.
Man, what a game.
Walt Williams, writer.
Just incredible video game. But he did the Future Game Show, and a line was written for him that I was the substance version of him, and Jen English, who plays Mael in Expedition 33, said, he had no idea what that meant. And I was like, it's
You're very on brand for the substance version of me.
Yeah, I think they have paved the way in what. How performers can interact with communities.
Oh my God, of course, yeah.
That's it, really.
Yeah, I was doing a Greg Way last week, right? Because it's Monday, about best interview ever. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about this very special moment where Up at Noon at IGN for me in 2012, 2013, 2014 was just perfectly intersected with the rise of the audience understanding voice actors mattered. And bringing in Travis and Laura and Troy and Ashley and Nolan and Jennifer and all these people who were there who were this is weird to be treated like a celebrity when it's you are so celebrity to us, and now that's ubiquitous and everybody gets it. You see them embracing that.
Because they are the ones that forged the path, really, there are so many celebrated actors before then. You can talk about Metal Gear Solid and David Hayter and all the team from Soul Reaver, and there are iconic performances that we value, but there was just something about that period of time where they felt tangible, they felt touchable. They felt like people who were willing to speak on the projects they were a part of and not just be a part of
and educatedly speak on them, right? They mattered to them. It's not what you're talking about we brought in a Hollywood actor and they recorded a bunch of lines and they walked away and they have no idea what this was or is.
It wasn't Bruce Willis in Apocalypse. Which is a great PS1 game. You haven't played it, but it didn't feel like cash grabs. They felt like ours. They felt like our celebrities and people that were kind of we owned. And it's weird that I got to meet Laura Bailey and Travis for the first time at just over Summer Game Fest recently.
That's
and
crazy.
It was just so strange that I have such a huge amount of fondness for their work, and just suddenly they're in my face, and I feel really starstruck for people whose work that I don't think they're just great people. I think they're just great performers and just technicians of their craft.
Like when you met Jack Quaid on the Gamescast last week.
Can I just say, I commented on these.
I'd prefer if you didn't.
You can take pictures in Expedition 33. There just isn't a photo mode.
And that's what we're talking about. They're not a photo.
I know.
Want photo modes.
But listen, notice me, senpai.
Mike.
Hello.
Before we went live, you had a conversation with Ben out there about his future in video games. What you want to tell him what you said? Because I like that a lot.
Can I say
or do you want to keep it? Is he mic'd or does he need to yell, Kev?
I had a vision that I...
Hold on. We're going to get your mic up so that we can hear you. That way, because I don't waste you. No, you're doing great, Kev. Really good. Roger, how many donuts for Mike is that?
This is the second.
Second donut?
Yeah, second.
Second sausage McMuffin as well.
Oh, second sausage McMuffin.
Yeah.
Two sausage McMuffin.
Jamba
donuts.
juice.
Can I say that isn't how
Yeah.
food works? This is
I'm
really
down.
unhealthy.
He's doing great.
Yeah, it only fuels me. And
It was 4
so
donuts.
No, it doesn't.
here I was walking, thinking
He's
about
burning, but think
Starr.
about how many calories he's burning
Yeah, in and
by
out.
walking.
Exactly. Just think about that. It's
What are
like,
we getting for lunch?
can't wait. You know, I had a salad.
2 of them.
Well-
Starboard and sweet greens or whatever.
Yeah, Roger called that a salad. That sucked. I'm mad at him about that
I
one.
hear you. All right. Anyways, Ben Starr prediction
So
for
then
Mike
I
Howard.
was
Everybody.
thinking about Ben Starr, and I'm like, man, this guy is so amazing. He's doing it all. And I said, I bet you that when this older cast moves out, Ben Starr will be in Call of Duty. He will be part of the team. He'll be the Soap McTavish of the world. He will be the Frank Woods. I can't wait. So, Ben, if you ever get in Call of Duty, just know that Big Mike is going to be smiling big, man.
Thank you so much. I'll do it for you. You'll hear me whisper under my breath if I ever get to do it. This is for Mike. Every time I shoot someone in the head, it'll be, this is for Mike.
All right, hold on. You know my wife, right?
Yeah.
She's calling me. Hold on.
Okay.
I think it's fun stuff, but you never know with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ask.
You get to talk to her too.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the Gamescast with Ben Starr. How are you, Jen?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Hi, Ben.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm shopping for slutty little shorts for Greg, and I need to know his size for the
Extra
waist.
small.
I think I'm a 38. Ben, look at my tag on my pants. But you see, you got the
I'm really got to get in there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, 38.
He's in there. Oh wait,
how
what?
short are you?
You have to go inside the pants. There should be on the little belt buckle.
On the belt buckle?
No, like right. Isn't there like a Levi's thing?
Is that
right
a thing? Because I just looked directly at your ass. I just looked at your ass. Right. I don't know, but I'm gonna touch him. I'm gonna say that's
Do
a 38.
We're gonna
That's a
38.
38.
We're gonna say 38 on that one.
Okay. And how short am I allowed to go?
As short as you want. You're the one I'm trying to impress.
Hell yeah, brother. Okay, cool. Thank
All right, thanks.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
I just looked directly at your ass.
How'd it look?
Like a 38.
I like this guy.
That's the ass of a man who is a 38.
Ben, we're winding down.
Yeah.
I want to give you some super chats in here. A lot of supportive ones, of course. Nicholas Chambers says, lost my best friend about 4 years ago unexpectedly. Grief doesn't get smaller, you grow around it. No one's a lone heart.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Tim C says, my mom died on Christmas 12 years ago. I totally feel you, Ben. It kind of makes the holiday going forward not ... great.
Yeah, because that's what it kind of feels like. It's just not great anymore.
Gary the Third changes the topic here and goes, thanks for being a joy to talk to at MagicCon and working through that line. I finally pulled the Clive card. Much love and congrats on your success.
Yeah, thank you to everyone that waited for me at MagicCon.
We haven't talked about Magic. Talk to me about Magic.
Yeah, what a cool thing. Final Fantasy Magic collaboration. Wizards were really kind to kind of bring me in and kind of help like host a lot of their events. I did a really silly commercial with Jacksepticeye that I wrote. Go check it out. It's on my Twitter. It's very stupid. Loved it, and I love the Magic the Gathering community. I feel like Final Fantasy has brought in so many new people into this card game, and it's made a lot of people feel like it's accessible for the first time, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. And the pre-existing community has been built over the past kind of 30 years or whatever.
So welcoming.
Oh my God, they're so nice.
Yeah, when we
so
started
nice,
playing
so
here,
cool.
they were all so great about it.
They want people to play their game because they recognize how cool it is.
It's
And
a
they
great
kind of
game.
don't care how you get into it. So yeah, shout out to everyone I've met. Thank you for being so kind.
Resar says, thanks for sharing the context, Ben. I have chronic anxiety and use games as a way to center myself, especially at times of grief. You rule heart.
Thanks.
Jay Barrel, or maybe Jay Barry. The first Berserker Kazan and Claire Obscure Expedition 33 are both my favorite games this year so far. Leaning towards Expedition 33 is my game of the year. Congrats, Ben, on your success, and I'm looking forward to your future endeavors beyond.
Thank you very much. Can I just also say, I don't think Expedition 33 needs to be game of the year in order for it to be a great game.
No, I don't think anybody's saying that.
But I really love how many people have taken it, and it's really changed them. It's a cool game. So thank you for everyone who's played it and supports it, and I hope that it allows you to make your life a little bit easier or worse, depending on how you feel about the game. But yeah, thank you for everyone's support on that game. It means the world.
Ty Wilkins VO says, as a voice actor at this point, after 5 years, what advice would Ben give to an actor at the weird time frame of having agents, but being in that in-between space / lull of larger online, indie, and early mainstream pro work to move forward?
Yeah, you just got to stick with it, man. Like, that's it. Like, my career is a testament to perseverance more than it is talent. And it's a right place, right time. You just got to be nimble, you got to be ready. And by the sounds of it, he's already got all the stuff in place. And it's just, mine is luck, mine is right place, right time, right attitude. And just keep doing it, man. If you're good at your job, which you clearly are, then you've got this.
Hell yeah. Mount Danello says, does Andy's voice acting career threaten you at all?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's why I spend so much time trying to bring him down, because he's too good.
Yeah, somebody has to, you know what I mean? Recon awesome. Shout out to First Berserker Kazan. Ben, you were awesome in that game.
There's an amazing Kazan community.
Yeah.
That game is hard as nails. But if you get into it, it's a super, super rewarding game. And I had such a great time talking about it, promoting it, being a part of it. So thank you to everyone who continues to play it and support it.
JBC says, quote, I don't want this life, end quote, was peak voice acting, Ben.
Thank you very much. No more comments or spoilers.
Patrick Perez says, Ben, what are 3 of your favorite Final Fantasy Edition Magic cards?
Oh, this is a fantastic question.
He lit up at that Magic question.
Yeah. What are my 3 favorite cards? So I'm naturally an 8 fan, so I love the fact that they've shoved Triple Triad in there. I think it's really sick. I adore the Aerith card that they've added. And then if I'm going to say the most exciting one for me is the combined Vanille and Fang cards that when you meld them together, they become Ragnarok, and you turn them around and it becomes one giant Ragnarok card, because I just think that is the really amazing way of it, like making a story beat into a mechanical thing. I think is so neat.
What's your favorite Ghostbuster Magic card together?
I don't know, or even slightly.
I'll get them for you.
What's your favorite one?
Man, the Ecto 1. That's my favorite one. It's one of the ones you can play and it changes the game radically. They got a good Slimer one as well.
Have you got it in foil? Have you got it in foil?
Of course I do. I'm Greg.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm Greg. It's more offensive though that you guys got an entire set and I just had to settle for like the secret layer.
With secret layer, but I mean, secret layer is cool as hell.
It's very cool
because they become really rare.
I know. Just saying, I could go for the entire set, but whatever. Hassan says, Ben, what character would you like to voice in Final Fantasy VII?
In 7?
Yeah.
Oh man, in 7? I think that's a really good question. I think I'd like to. I'm in kind of my villain era, so I'd love to have a go at by the way, everyone in the 7 remake is amazing. Any villain like Rufus Shinra is a kind of like a delectable piece of shit. Yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics coming out, and I play a delectable piece of shit in that as well. So it's fun to do.
Okay. 2 more. Parks View says, Ben, compared to how bad the UK heat is at the moment, how is it to be in San Francisco?
Oh my God, it's so nice. The wind is actually lovely. It's like the UK is now, it's close in the UK. Like you can't really move in the night, otherwise you'll just sweat. It's horrible
I hate that. I don't like that at all. And final question comes from Mr. Hawks, who says, Ben, what Expedition 33 tattoo should I get?
The most popular one right now is an Esquier tattoo. They're really cute as hell. People really like Gustav's arm. That's beautiful with a rose in it. I've seen. I want to get an Expedition 0 tattoo. For those who know. Or if you want to be a real one, get an Expedition 60. Strongest expedition to ever do it.
Nice. Why not just go for those who come after?
Yeah,
I mean, you get that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
There's so much, like the art in that game is so iconic that you can pretty much get anything, and it's a painting.
Get that warped Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah. Ben, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
You did Games Daily. Go watch Games Daily if you missed that. Of course, Ben's in everything, but Ben, what would you like to promote that you can promote?
I say stay tuned tomorrow. There's a fun little announcement we're going to make.
But then also the Natural Six, right? There's a YouTube channel. Go get that.
Oh my God. I play D&D with 5 of my closest friends. We're really fun. We're really silly. If you've never played D&D before, neither had some of us. So we got into it and we learned. I'm really good at it now.
Yeah.
I'm great. We're like 34 episodes in.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's really fun and we get to travel the world. Thank you for everyone who supports Natural Six.
There it is.
There we go. We recently did a tie-in with the Altars, which is fun as hell. Alt is an amazing game which Alex Jordan plays 11 different characters in, and we all play different versions. He created an entire TTRPG system for us to play.
Fantastic.
But yeah, we love it, and we get to do it for a job. It's cool.
Okay. Well, everybody, Ben Starr will be in other video games. He'll be coming to a convention near you, and of course, he'll be getting married next month. Congratulations.
Yeah.
For now, of course, we'll remind you that this has been Kind of Funny Gamescast each and every week. 4, sometimes 2 best friends gather on this table to come talk about the biggest topics in video games, whether they be reviews, previews, or just things we need to talk about. If you like that, pick up a Kind of Funny membership. YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames, Patreon.com/kindoffunny, Apple or Spotify. $10 a month gets you 80 episodes of content ad-free. It gets you 4 hours of exclusive podcasts from me, and of course, it gets you good karma for supporting an 11-person small business that is still marathon streaming Death Stranding 2. We might be on YouTube going into the live premiere of Tim's wedding, but on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, the marathon walkathon stream for Death Stranding 2 continues. Mike, how are we feeling? How's the bubble?
The fun don't stop. I got a bubble in my leg and I got a bubble on my belly. Andy says that I should get the doctor to look at my belly, but I said it's fine.
We'll get Dr. Feelgood in here. He'll look at your belly. Don't worry about it. That's going to keep going right there. Ben's going to say goodbye, but maybe hang out. I don't know what
Yeah, I'll be around. It's fine. Whatever.
All right, whatever. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.